In the fragile political landscape of post-war Syria, new reports have revealed the complex and often secretive cooperation between international intelligence agencies attempting to stabilize the country. According to several sources familiar with the matter, Turkey's intelligence service allegedly approached Britain's external intelligence agency, the Secret Intelligence Service, requesting greater involvement in protecting Syria's new president, Ahmed al-Sharaa. The reported request was said to have been made by Turkey's powerful intelligence agency, the National Intelligence Organization, amid rising concerns about assassination plots targeting the Syrian leader. However, shortly after these reports emerged, Turkish authorities issued a firm denial, stating that no such request had been made to Britain. Despite the denial, the claims themselves reveal how tense and uncertain the security situation remains in Syria more than a year after the dramatic fall of former President Bashar al-Assad. While the Assad era formally ended following the success of a rebel coalition in late 2024, the transition has not brought immediate stability. Instead, the country continues to face threats from militant groups, internal divisions, and the wider geopolitical rivalries that shape Middle Eastern politics. The alleged intelligence request underscores how seriously foreign allies view the security of Syria's new leadership. After 14 years of devastating civil war, which displaced millions and allowed extremist organizations to seize territory, international powers fear that instability could quickly return if the current government collapses. For countries like Turkey, Britain, and the United States, Sharaa has become a central figure in efforts to rebuild Syrian state institutions and prevent renewed sectarian violence. Their backing of the new government is partly driven by the memory of how groups like the Islamic State once exploited Syria's chaos to establish a self-declared caliphate across large areas of the country. That period between 2014 and 2019 demonstrated how quickly state collapse could transform Syria into a global security threat. Even today, analysts warn that if the current political transition fails, extremist organizations could once again gain ground. As a result, protecting Syria's leadership has become a priority, not just for the Syrian government itself, but also for the international coalition trying to ensure that the country does not fall back into conflict. According to individuals briefed on the matter, the concerns about Sharaa's security intensified after several alleged assassination plots linked to extremist networks. Sources say that in recent months, militants connected to the Islamic State have increased attacks on Syrian military and security forces, signaling what they describe as a new phase of operations. These militants reportedly view Sharaa as a direct obstacle to their ambitions and have publicly declared him their number one foe. Some officials say that last year alone, Syrian authorities thwarted multiple attempts to assassinate the president and members of his cabinet. Intelligence officials believe these plots demonstrate the determination of extremist groups to destabilize the new political order before it becomes fully entrenched. One Turkish source suggested that it was precisely after one particularly dangerous assassination threat that Ankara sought additional cooperation from Western intelligence partners. If true, the idea behind involving Britain's intelligence service would have been to expand surveillance, intelligence sharing, and protective capabilities around Syria's leadership. Yet the story is complicated by strong official denials. After the reports surfaced, Turkish authorities issued a statement rejecting the claim that their intelligence agency had requested assistance from Britain to protect the Syrian president. The statement emphasized that Turkey maintains extensive cooperation with international intelligence partners in the fight against terrorism, but insisted that the specific allegation about requesting MI6 protection was false. Such denials are not unusual in the world of intelligence diplomacy, where governments often avoid confirming sensitive operational details. Even so, Many observers believe that behind the scenes cooperation between intelligence agencies is almost certainly taking place. Intelligence sharing between Turkey, Western countries, and the Syrian government has reportedly increased in recent months as concerns about militant networks grow. Syria itself recently acknowledged that its security services have coordinated with Turkish intelligence to prevent potential terrorist attacks, marking one of the first public confirmations of such cooperation since the fall of Assad's government. The broader geopolitical environment also plays an important role in shaping these intelligence dynamics. The Middle East has been experiencing heightened tensions following the war involving the United States, Israel, and Iran, which has unsettled the entire region. These developments have raised fears that Syria could once again become a battlefield for proxy conflicts among rival powers. Some intelligence analysts believe that if Western agencies were to expand their presence in Damascus, it could serve as a stabilizing buffer between competing regional actors, particularly between Turkey and Israel, whose strategic interests have increasingly diverged. However, the idea of Western intelligence personnel operating openly in Damascus also carries risks. Syrian security officials have reportedly warned that a physical foreign intelligence presence could itself become a target for militant attacks or political controversy. As a result, any cooperation between intelligence agencies is likely to remain discreet, focusing on technical surveillance, data analysis, and coordination rather than a visible deployment of foreign officers. Ultimately, the debate surrounding the alleged request to MI6 reflects the broader uncertainty surrounding Syria's future. The overthrow of Bashar al-Assad marked a historic turning point after more than a decade of war, but the country's recovery remains fragile. President Ahmed al-Sharaa himself represents a controversial yet pivotal figure in this transition. Once a commander in the al-Qaeda-linked Nusra Front, before breaking ties with the group in 2016, he later led a coalition of rebel factions that ultimately toppled the Assad regime. His transformation from insurgent leader to head of state mirrors the complicated evolution of Syria's opposition movement. For international actors, supporting Shara's government is seen as the best available path toward preventing Syria from sliding back into chaos. But as long as extremist groups remain active and regional rivalries continue to shape events, the threat to Syria's leadership will remain real. Whether the reports about intelligence cooperation are accurate or not, they highlight a central reality. The stability of Syria's new government depends not only on domestic reforms, but also on the delicate web of international partnerships working quietly behind the scenes to keep the country from returning to war.